All right, hailing frequencies are open. Welcome to another session of Star Trek Explorers, a original series era game of Star Trek adventures from Modiphius. We are going to start out with a scene that I ripped off from Star Trek Lower Decks. We're going to start out with a talent show, a crew-wide talent show on the U.S.S. Venture, a Constitution-class starship on which this campaign is taking place. So I want you guys to. This scene is going to take place on the Jeffrey Langdon Arboretum on the U.S.S. Venture, and all of the off-duty officers are grouped together, waiting the start of a crew-wide talent show. So I would like each of you to introduce your characters and tell me how they're responding to this situation. Do they plan to take part and get up on stage? Are they sort of nervous about performing? If they're going to take part, what is their talent that they're going to show the entire crew? So let's start with the first person on my list, which is Miguel, who's playing Dr. Bayram Ozil.
All right, Byram is probably going to get egged on to just go up on stage. He's going to be along the lines of, oh, great, I got to think of something right on the spot. Someone just signed me up for it. That sort of thing. It's like, oh, yeah.
And so what would be Dr. Ozil's talent?
Oh, my goodness. I think he'd try to do some sort of stand-up thing.
Awesome. Okay, so yeah, so just to set the scene, this is the Arboretum of the U.S.S. Venture that you guys decided to name after Jeffrey Langdon, who was a security officer who was killed in the line of duty in a previous episode of our campaign. So there's all sorts, it's kind of humid in there. It's kind of got a greenhouse feel. There's all sorts of beautiful plants from all over the alpha and beta quadrants. And there's a stage set up and kind of a PA address system, and then a bunch of chairs set out for audience members. And so, Dr. Ozil, you show up and you're not necessarily planning to get up on stage, but it looks like someone anonymously has already signed you up on the list. And so you're going to be announced and you'll be expected to get up on stage and do something to entertain the crew. Up next, I've got Yong. What is Commander Han thinking for this talent show?
Commander Han will be rapping for us.
Excellent. I love it. Is Commander Han a hip-hop aficionado?
Yes, he is.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Okay. And last, we've got Paul playing Captain Harriman.
Yeah, well, the captain, of course, will attend, has to support the crew in these things. But I think I'll probably set up something with the duty officer on the bridge to maybe give me a call after, say, an hour. I won't set myself up as a judge either, because it's not fair that the commanding officer be the judge.
Yeah, it's good that you mentioned judges. It looks like one of the science officers, the young junior science officer, Lieutenant Tulak Jathran, the Andorian, has rigged some kind of device that will measure the decibels of the applause from the audience, and that's going to determine the results of the talent show. And he's kind of the MC of the night. Maybe he's the one who was the impetus behind putting this event together and was really the driving force. And so he gets up on stage and tells everyone to quiet down and take their seats. And he starts out with kind of his own stand-up comedy routine. And it's almost like a roast. So he starts like picking out members of the crew and kind of, good-naturedly ribs them. He's talking about pink skins and things like that. And you start to realize that the jokes are not going over very well, that they're just not very funny, and they're really kind of you don't think he means to be mean-spirited about it, but he kind of is. And it's the jokes are not going over well. And so he finally gets off stage and introduces the first act, who goes up and he sits next to Dr. Ozil and is like, hey, what did you think? How'd that go?
I think that was fine. Gotta have to say, well, is that really a roast, or were you just really being mean to them?
Oh no, people love that kind of thing.
That ensign is crying.
He kind of looks over and he's like, yeah, crying with laughter.
Sure.
Because they're laughing so hard, Dr. Ozil.
Yeah.
And then he kind of turns towards Captain Harriman, and he's like, hey, I know that down in engineering, a lot of the engineering crew talk about Lieutenant Tasai, and they say that she is actually a fabulous poet, but she refuses. She hasn't signed up yet. I'm worried she's not going to perform or recite any of her poetry. Captain, could you maybe do something about that?
I feel that would probably be an abuse of my position as captain. It would be taken as an order, and that wouldn't be fair.
Okay, I guess I can appreciate that. What about he turns kind of behind it back to Commander Han. He's like, is there anything you can think of? Maybe get Tasai up there?
Commander Han looks up. He's furiously scribbling something down on a piece of paper. It says, what was that? And you look down on that little piece of paper, and he's got something jot down, and it begins with, "Let me break it all down, comma, and weave thee a story." And ... He's like writing stuff down. I missed that. What were you saying again?
Tasai. Everyone, her engineering team says that she is a terrific poet, but she hasn't signed up. She's not on the list. And so I was really hoping that she maybe recite some of her poetry. I think it would really improve the quality of our talent show.
Well, if you believe that's the case, maybe I should go down and talk to her.
Would you do that?
Sure. Well, I'm not in a position like captain where I could call things. So yeah, as a colleague, I'll go down there and speak to her.
Yeah. I'm not saying someone's got to give her an order. I don't want her to do anything that she's not comfortable with. I just, if you could do something to maybe convince her, to convince her that that would really be for the benefit of the whole crew to hear her poetry.
So you say that she's very good at poetry, right?
Yeah.
She must be very talented in rhyming. Yes.
Well, I don't know if it's free verse or what. You'd have to talk to her. I've never heard her recite her poetry.
All right. Well, Captain, Doctor, if you would excuse me, I would like to go down there and talk to Lieutenant Tsai.
Sure. No problem at all.
Thank you, Captain. Doctor, good luck to you. I hope I come back in time.
So yeah, as Commander Han gets up and the doors swish open and he gets aboard a turbo lift and heads down to engineering. But we will stay in the Arboretum and have Dr. Ozil. He is the young science officer, Ensign Jethran, gets up and announces, and next up, we've got Dr. Ozil. Come on up, Doctor. And there's like polite applause.
Hey, thank you. I gotta say is I've been going through our ship's library about old Earth history, and you know what? The more I read about this Hitler guy, the more I really don't care about him. It's really strange. Another thing, you ever lied for no reason at all? Like some guy comes up to you and is like, "Hey, you seen that movie with Meryl Streep and the Vulcan?" And you just say yes, but in the back of your head, you're like, "Wait, I stand to gain nothing at all with this lie."
There's like some nervous laughter from the crowd.
Yeah.
One guy gives him an obligatory applause.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what else to say is other than the fact is imagine being a dog with a homeless guy. Dog is probably thinking to that homeless guy, is like, this is the longest walk I've ever been on.
Okay. Give me a presence plus command roll to see this is just a measure of your charisma to see if your jokes are landing.
Yeah.
And,
purposely blowing these things.
And this will be a difficulty 2. I would make it difficulty 3, but that dog joke was actually pretty good.
Okay. Let's see. Presence in command. It's got a 9. I got a 15, 16. So I just failed. So I'm just really owning the stage with all these bad jokes.
Yeah, so you're like covered in flop sweat. You're like totally bombing. How does Doctor? And you realize it too. You realize that.
Yeah, I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna be along the lines of like, yeah. Gosh.
So we'll cut the scene there with you on stage, and we'll go down to engineering, and I'll let you think about how Dr. Ozil responds to bombing on stage during the talent show. But down in engineering, Commander Han, you spot Lieutenant Tasai, who is the chief engineer, and she is conducting some kind of test of the warp core. What do you do?
Lieutenant Tasai, how are you doing today?
I'm well, Commander. And you?
What do you? I'm doing quite well. Well, I suppose I could use some help with something. What about you? What are you working on right now?
We are simply conducting routine tests of the warp core to make sure that it is operating within normal parameters.
Is it?
It always is on my watch.
Well, how about you take a little break and have a walk with me?
I suppose I could leave engineering for a few minutes. Is there something you'd like to discuss?
Well, it's a matter regarding the talent show that's being held up there. I'm told that a lot of your colleagues think you're very, very talented in poetry. And
she cocks one of her Vulcan eyebrows, and she says, yes, poetry is indeed an interest of mine. However, I do not see any reason to recite it in front of the crew.
Well, let me persuade you then. Perhaps, sharing your poetry would elevate the crew's morale. And as you know, when the crews are inspired, they do their work better. And I think you could contribute to this very enterprising enterprise. Yes.
Tasai kind of motions for you to step into her office. She's like, can I speak with you just for a moment, Commander?
I'm all ears. What's going on?
She says, you have to understand, I believe the human expression is stage fright. Performing in front of a large audience makes me apprehensive.
I understand. Well, there are times when I was afraid to do things just because there were so many eyes on me, scrutinizing every single move that I make. Perhaps staring at my face as beads of cold sweat trail down my face. But I've finally found out what the secret is to overcome that fear. Would you like to know what you should do in those types of situations?
Yes, Commander. She said she was listening intently.
It's quite simple. You clench your buttocks.
Excuse me?
You clench your buttocks.
I do not understand how that could possibly help.
Because it takes conscious effort to maintain your sphincter muscles tight. It actually draws away from your fear of other things. And you're just simply focused on something that's entirely, related to your bodily function, so that you can, from that point on, concentrate on what must be done.
And this is what you do every time you perform?
Sure, absolutely.
Is this widely known among humans?
Among some people. You could ask the captain about it, and I'm sure he probably has, his own wisdom to share with you.
Okay, Yong, that's fabulous advice. Give me a presence plus command roll, and I'm going to oppose it with Tasai's, the same roll, because she's a little skeptical of your explanation.
Okay,
I got
presence. plus command. All right, here we go. Ooh, I roll 6, and my score to beat was 10.
Did you roll 2 d20s? You get 2.
Oh, okay. Oh, man. And the second one is 9.
So that's 2 successes?
Yes.
Okay. So your 2 successes does beat her 1 success, and you like overcome her skepticism and convince her. She says, okay, well, there's only one way to find out if your method would help. So yes, I will perform at the talent show. Lead the way, Commander.
All right. As we go, he's asking her about, perhaps you could give me some pointers. You see, I'm to perform in this a little rap number, and I'm coming up short in terms of rhymes. Do you work with rhymes at all?
Vulcan poetry traditionally does not concern itself with rhyming schemes. However, I would be happy to take a look at what you have so far.
Well, I have to find something that rhymes with Starfleet, and so far I have cold feet.
I believe the rhyme you're looking for is fat beat.
Oh, that is excellent.
Would that not be appropriate for the 20th century Earth art form?
Well, you know my fascination very well. I think that should suffice. Thank you, Lieutenant Desai.
Yeah, so the doors swish open and you guys step back into the Arboretum, where you see that Dr. Ozil is still on stage and his jokes are just absolutely bombing. You can actually hear the crowd groaning. What's he doing?
Yes, I'm going to just go in with the big one. So Moth goes into a podiatrist's office, and the podiatrist says, what seems to be the problem, Moth? And the Moth just gives a long, drawn-out sigh and says, what's the problem? Where do I begin, man? I go to work for Gregory Ilinovich, and all day I work. And honestly, Doc, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I don't even know if Gregory Ilinovich knows. He only knows that he has power over me, and that seems to bring him happiness. But I don't know. I wake up in a malaise, and I walk here and there at night. I sometimes wake up, and I turn to some old lady in my bed that's on my arm. A lady that I once loved, Doc. I don't know where to turn to. My youngest, Alexandria, she fell in the cold of last year. The cold that took her down, as it did many of us. And my other boy, and this is the hardest pill to swallow, Doc. My other boy, Gregario Ilinovich, I no longer love him. As much as it pains me to say, when I look in his eyes, all I see is the same cowardice that I catch when I take a glimpse of my own face in the mirror. If only I wasn't such a coward, then perhaps I could bring myself to reach over to that cocked and loaded phaser that lays on the bedside behind me and end this hellish facade once and for all, Doc. Sometimes I feel like a spider, even though I'm a moth, just barely hanging on to my web with an everlasting fire underneath me. I'm not feeling good. And so the doctor says, Moth, man, you're troubled. Well, you should be seeing a psychiatrist. Why on earth did you come here to a podiatrist? And the moth says, because the light was on.
So there's like a smattering of laughter. Like there are a few comedy fans in the audience who just absolutely get it. But for the most part, the people in the audience are just not ready for that kind of humor.
Yeah, of course. There's a dry humor, but more importantly, they're like, what's a moth? Is it the Earth thing?
The camera cuts to Captain Harriman. How's he responding to how things are unfolding?
I think he quite likes that joke. He's one of the few people laughing at it.
Awesome. And so Lieutenant Tulak Jethran gets back up and like has to wrestle the mic away from Dr. Ozil. And he says, okay, everyone give it up for our doctor, the chief medical officer aboard the Venture. And there's like,
I don't know where I work. See you later.
there's polite applause. And then the ensign introduces, we had our chief tactical officer, Commander Han, just came through the door. Are you ready to come up?
Yes, I am. And then he goes up there, and he stumbles onto the stage, and he looks at the DJ and says, "Hit it!" And the DJ starts pumping the beat. It's like, and then you see Hando like waving his hand and go like this, and he goes like, "Yo, yo, yo, let me hear the roar." And then it's odd because he's using Middle English. Instead of saying you, he's saying the, and instead of saying I, he's saying I. I guess there was something that was lost in translation. And he starts going like, "Let me break it all down and weave thee a story. When they say Starfleet, your mama drops, a fat beat." And then there's a little bit of a pause because he kind of sucks. And he goes like, "With the warp core drive, with the dilithium to deprive, dropping photon torpedoes like them red hot potatoes. Listen to you all because I'm the MC Hando on." Brayden, give this lyric. And then he looks at and then he pauses for a little bit and says, yeah, "I'm sorry." And he just freestyles, going into beatboxing. Stuff like that.
Young, was that dropping photon torpedoes like red hot potatoes? Is that what you said?
Yep, dropping photon torpedoes like them red hot potatoes.
Yeah. Okay, that made my night. I'm writing that down. Okay.
If that makes it into one of your songs, Fred, it's going to cost you $1 every time.
And so, how Captain Harriman, how do you respond to this display of hip hop?
Captain Harriman appears to be checking very closely the palm of his hand while he's resting his forehead on it.
Yong, give me a difficulty 2 presence plus command roll to see how the audience responds to these fat beats blaring over the PA system in the Arboretum.
Oh man. Ooh, I made 1 success.
Okay. So it's not bad. It just seems like maybe the hip hop is like, at this point it's several centuries old. There aren't a lot of people in the audience who understand the art form, but like people appreciate that you got up there and did this performance, and at least appreciated the clever wordplay. So there's there's some decent applause as you step down from the stage. And Ensign Jithran gets back up. He says, "Hey, let's hear it for our Chief Tactical Officer, Commander Hando Han." And then he says, "We've got a late entry. This will be our last entry of the night, but our Chief Engineer, Lieutenant Tasai, has decided to recite some of her original poetry." And so Lieutenant Tasai gets up, and at first, she's very stiff and cold and seems uncomfortable on stage. And then you see her kind of maybe tighten up a little bit, and she starts to perform, she starts to recite poetry. And it's a poem about the Forge, this vast desert on Vulcan at night. And she paints such a beautiful picture of longing and loneliness that you really can't believe that a Vulcan who's supposed to suppress emotion is able to compose something like this. And you see people actually, wiping tears away from their faces. And then she finishes her poem and steps down, and it's like totally so quiet you could hear a pin drop for several beats before everyone kind of erupts in applause. How do you guys respond?
I think Vulcan poetry is probably something the captain would respond to. Yeah, I am clapping enthusiastically.
Is it appropriate to clap, or is it like one of those Vulcan things where they do not want applause?
She looks a little embarrassed by, if you didn't know any better, you'd say that she looks a little embarrassed by the recognition of the audience.
Yeah, Hando Han, stands up and gives her a standing ovation and says, "Bravo, bravo!"
Yes, I think like the proper Vulcan response would just be a very stoic stare.
So yeah, as you, Commander Han, as you get up and start applauding and making a big deal out of it, she walks by you and she kind of whispers in your ear. She's like, "Commander, it worked," and then she proceeds past you.
Nice. Yeah, Hando, he smiles and nods at her and gives her a thumbs up.
Cool. So Ensign Jithron gets back up and he's got like it's like a tricorder rigged to gauge the applause from the audience from each performer. And he's like, well, it looks like in the inaugural crew-wide talent show aboard the U.S.S. Venture that Lieutenant Tasai has won this thing by a landslide. Let's give all the performers another round of applause.
Well, that's good. Yeah, we all applause.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there is like the bosun's whistle, like a, and over the loudspeaker it says, "We have a message for Captain Harriman."
Okay. Oh, hang on. Did Kirk have a ready room? No, he didn't, did he? I'll take it in my quarters.
Cool. So we will cut the scene there of the talent show, and we will go to Captain Harriman's quarters. What do you have any? What are Captain Harriman's quarters like? Does he keep it very neat and tidy? Is it kind of messy? Does he have any mementos that he displays?
I think very neat and tidy. And we've said before, his family was sort of fairly well off, so he would have been taught appropriately. So yeah, fairly well, nice and tidy. A few sort of family photographs, that kind of thing. But no, nothing really particular, I think. Which is a shame. Maybe you ought to look for something.
Cool. Yeah. So you get to your well-maintained quarters, and there is a message waiting for you on your display.
And as I sit down, I'm thinking, you know, this ship could really do with like a little office somewhere just off the bridge that I could use.
That's just crazy enough to work.
Yeah. This feels like working from home. Okay, I'll read the message.
Okay, so this is just a text readout because it's being sent, over great distances. The Venture's in deep space and hasn't been anywhere near Earth for months. But it says from Starfleet Command, San Francisco, your reports of Orion pirates in your region of space is troubling. The Federation Council hopes your exploration will pave the way for new trade routes through your current sector and adjacent sectors. But that won't be possible as long as the Syndicate has the ability to harass freighter traffic. Your new orders are to find the source of the Syndicate's presence in your region and ascertain the Syndicate's motives. And that is where the message ends.
Okay. So, nothing terribly hard then. Just find out what the Orion Syndicate is up to and who's running it. Have that done by lunch.
Yeah, as you recall, in our previous couple of episodes, the Venture went up against, there were a couple of Orion ships that sort of emerged from Nebula, and there was some starship combat that ended up kind of, you guys got sucked into some wormholes, and there was some weird interdimensional travel there, but you're learning that the Syndicate does have a presence in this region of space. You also, a while ago, in our very first couple of episodes, picked up a former Orion assassin named Aja, who said that she tried to leave the Syndicate behind, and you end up kind of helping each other out in one of your missions, and now she's still aboard the ship as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Wasn't she in engineering?
Yeah, she had kind of started her own business as an engineer, a tinker, and that was how she was kind of paying her way aboard this big, like a settlement.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get a few of the senior staff together then, and we'll invite her into the meeting. The aim being, okay, how do we go about fulfilling this order? How do we go about finding out who's running the Orion Syndicate in this sector?
Cool, yeah, we can cut to a conference room aboard the Venture, and all of you, your three characters are all present. Aja shows up and sits down at the table as well. and maybe a couple of other department heads. And what do you guys want to talk about? What sort of ideas might you have to help you figure out what the syndicate is doing here?
I'll get a whiteboard set up so we can brainstorm.
I would suggest, is there a free port captain? Because if you want to find a black market, there probably needs to be a settlement first, right?
Well, it's not been that long since Arju came on board, so what can she tell us about the Orion Syndicate in the sector? Are there any particular worlds or any particular people that she knows of?
She says, well, yes, the syndicate's leader, the syndicate maintains a very decentralized structure. That way, if someone is arrested or captured and interrogated, they can't give up everybody else. But in this sector, the most prominent and important syndicate leader that I ever knew of was a woman named Seema. And she was my direct superior, and she was the one who sent me on most of my assassination missions. And I turned on her. I betrayed her. I tried to leave the syndicate behind. Unfortunately, in Seema's mind, no one ever leaves the syndicate behind. And that's why she sent some of her agents to come and collect me.
Okay, but she represents the leader of your cell, not necessarily the leader of the entire sector.
Oh, I think she's pretty high up. I think she is most like, and she's ambitious as well. I think she's most likely the leader of syndicate operations in this region.
Okay, so if she doesn't know directly the person who is at the very, very top, then she can at least point us in the direction. She's going to have more information about current operations.
I'd bet anything on it.
Okay. Next question is, and I'm open to ideas here, how do we get hold of her?
Well, she never stays in one place too long, so I'm not sure where she would probably be hiding out right now. I know a few things about her habits just from getting to know her. She'll be somewhere out of the way, but she wouldn't pick a remote moon or an asteroid because she's always had a taste for the finer things in life. And she would never set up her base of operations without access to the comforts of civilization nearby. Also, she never goes very long without some gambling.
Okay.
So what's the Las Vegas of this sector?
What's that?
What would be the equivalent to the old Earth city of Las Vegas?
If any of you want to give me a reason, I'll tell you what, I think insight plus security would probably be best, and this would be a difficulty 2 roll.
Yeah, well,
and you can all try it.
Yeah. So it'll be like, I'll throw ideas because it's like, yeah, well, how about we go and try to find her at like the equivalent of the Bellagio? I'll assist. Oh, this is my assist die.
Oh, I got 1 success.
1 success too with my assist.
Okay, how about Commander Han?
If I hit that score, is that a success or a failure?
Yeah, equal to or less is a success. So equal to is good.
2 successes.
2 successes. Okay, Commander Han, you have been studying the kind of the security readouts and criminal activity reports that the venture has been able to pick up on in this region of space. And you know that there is a colony called the Palmyra colony that is on a big kind of desert world that undergoes all kinds of like harsh weather. But the colony is a dome colony, and it's sort of a hub of terraforming. So while terraforming crews go out all over the world to kind of change the environment of this planet, the dome colony itself is actually kind of a hub of civilization. And you know that there's also a lot of gambling and gaming that goes on in that settlement.
Captain, Doctor, it seems the desert terraforming colony of Palmyra has a lot of gambling activities that's been reported. Would that be a possible place where we may find the Seema?
So you think the combination of it being out of the way, somewhere where she can gamble, somewhere that has the finer things, that kind of meets the criteria that we're looking for?
I think so. I don't think it's too far away from civilization, and that seems to be the only place that's prominently coming up as a gambling hotbed.
I mean, with the level of gambling you're saying, right?
Hmm.
Because, yeah, like going with the old Earth thing, the city of Las Vegas was founded by the mafia, wasn't it? Really got popular due to the criminal element.
There's certainly potential for an Orion Syndicate link
Yeah.
to it, by the sounds
Yeah.
of it.
Well,
Oh,
my
so,
knowledge of the
yeah.
my knowledge of the old Earth in 20th and 21st century only extends to the hip hop music, Doctor.
Okay, so I don't think having
Very
examples of
sad.
Atlantic City would help.
Well, we need to go down there and actually find out whether she's there or not first. Then we can take a look at the lie of the land and see if we can figure out how to get her out. Now, I don't really want to do that with the venture, because seeing a Federation starship suddenly appear in orbit is probably going to scare a few people. So, how does everybody feel about going in as civilians?
Well, I'm ready, Captain. Whenever you are.
Sure. How much are we going to get for chips?
Oh, don't you know we don't actually use money in Starfleet?
They gamble. They're going to need currency, Captain.
Well, we're bound to have some sort of precious metals on board, aren't we? Something that we can trade either for cash on the planet or for chips. I mean, if this place is like Vegas, then there's basically nothing that they won't take as long as it's worth something.
Well, I hope so. Because it'd be kind of amazing how we do all our other trading if we keep telling the people we barter with we don't deal with cash.
Okay, so we can sort out something from our stores that will give us a pot, a stake. I think I might have to brush up on my gambling terms here. Now we need some way to get there. How do we get there without using the venture?
I would suggest just a shuttlecraft.
Still a Starfleet shuttlecraft.
Mm-hmm. More likely, what is the nearest starbase? Odds are we can coordinate with the starbase commander to commandeer a civilian vessel that's on the way there.
Yeah, I'm sure they've got one or two vessels impounded that we could use temporarily.
How about
not impounded, be able to just hitch a ride with a trader through there.
how
And
about
the trader has no idea we're Starfleet officers, just looking for all of that.
Well, I'm thinking if we're going to go there, we need to go as civilians, and we need to go as civilians who can at least command a certain amount of respect. So I'm thinking turning up in our own ship with enough trade goods to fund some gambling.
we would definitely look very suspicious, Captain. How about we contact our friends, the Klingons that we met not too long ago, and ask them for a ride?
If you're worried about a Federation ship arriving there, what makes you think a Klingon D7 is not going to really worry everyone?
Good point, Doctor.
I mean, it's not like they've got cloaking devices, is it?
No, that's like 10 years in the future.
At least. I mean, I'm starting to think of this now. I think by going in a way that is obvious, we become inobvious. You see what I mean, Commander?
Yes, Captain.
If we try and sneak in, we're going to get spotted. But if we walk straight through the front door, sorry, I'm just getting an Ocean's vibe here.
I mean, the big thing is if anything, you could also, if you really want to not go with the civilian route, you can just declare get in contact with the colonial heads, let them know you're willing to pay for the crew to have some fun. This is R&R. Stretched our leg.
Yeah, but again, having a Federation starship in orbit is still going to put them on alert, and that's what we don't want.
Yeah.
We want them to feel as though they've got the advantage over us, rather than the other way around.
Through day traders would probably be the best solution.
I mean, frankly, gentlemen, it sounds to me as though we've got to pull off a heist.
How many drills are we going to replicate?
How many what?
Drills to break into the vault, Captain.
Yeah, but the thing we've got to heist is Seema. Somehow we've got to get in there, figure out that she's there, where she is, and then how to get her out.
Perhaps we could contact the colony and have them apprehend her, and then just simply appear to reinforce her and bring her here on board by teleporting her.
So I'll ask Adja, is it likely, do you think, that the local police on this colony are going to be working with Seema and with the Orions?
It's pretty standard syndicate procedure to pay off the local authorities to prevent exactly what you guys are talking about right here.
Perhaps we could bait them. We could leak the information that our friend Aja is staying in one of the nearby system and have her come to her, and then we could apprehend her or her henchmen so that we could find out more about her whereabouts.
Aja kind of looks at you and she says, "Oh, make me the bait. You know, I am almost positive that would draw Seema out, but I'm not sure I like the idea of jumping into danger like that."
So what would be the plan then, Commander?
Well, if Aja would agree, we would make sure that the security team would be hiding to ensure that she is secure, fully armed, of course. And then as she would be drawn out, then we would begin the perimeter and ensure and move in and capture her as she approaches Aja. The thing is that Aja, as she's mentioned, I mean, we would be putting her in danger. But if we only leak the information, does it really mean that she has to be there? She could be staying safely here in Venture while we put ourselves in her location and have her come to see us.
Well, if anything, Aja, I think, would have to do something, because Seema is not going to come out unless she has absolutely positive proof that Aja is there. So just saying that she's there probably wouldn't cut it. There would need to be reports of her presence there. There may need to be subspace calls made from there that Seema can trace, that kind of thing.
How about we place her in a quarter in a nearby system, and then, you know, before anyone could respond and actually come to the system, we would transport her back onto Venture so that she would be secure on our ship.
I think we're still going to have to put her in harm's way somewhat.
Yeah,
Hopefully not much, but...
Seema says, since you agreed to take me on board as a passenger, I've been trying to make amends for my past. If you think the best plan would be for me to go down onto that planet to draw Seema out, well, I have a feeling I can take care of myself.
What are the other thoughts about these plans then? Doctor?
I would say is whatever it is to ensure we don't put our own crew members into the most danger would be advisable. But um, we don't have a complete picture of everything until we get there, right, Captain?
It certainly sounds that way.
Yeah. So I do believe there's a bit of improvisation is going to be required once we get there.
Well, the question is, do we lure Seema out or do we go in after her?
I would suggest as we take stock of the whole situation, perhaps we can be able to get a jump on Zima. But if not, we will have to also lure her out. We'll see. It could go either way, Captain.
Well, in the interest of at least making a decision, Fred, do you have any preferences as GM? Looking at from the point of view of which would be the easiest to run?
I think any of the options you've discussed are cool. I'm prepared to roll with them. If you wanted to, kind of sneak down as civilians and investigate that way, that would be cool. If you wanted to just take the venture into orbit and contact the planetary government, we could do that. Seema says, if you wanted me to find a ship that would not have any kind of Starfleet markings or history, I could probably find something for you, but then I can't have you guys complaining that maybe I got a hold of it illicitly.
Okay. I'm thinking.
I would say, guys.
Sorry, go on.
If you want Seema to act as bait to draw the syndicate out, you can do that. She would be willing to do that because she's trying to make amends for her past sins. Or if you guys wanted to find a way to the settlement and to take a look around yourselves first, you can do that too. However you want to proceed.
I really fancy going for the heist. Speaking as a player. How do you guys feel?
Yeah, I can go either way. Heist sounds like it'll be fun.
Absolutely, Captain. Whichever way that you feel is necessary.
I'm thinking from a Star Trek point of view, thinking back to some of the original series episodes, the ones where they were involved in, dressing up as gangsters and the like were kind of fun. So here I'm thinking, let's go with like Ocean's 11 in Star Trek.
Nice.
Totally.
Okay, so we'll ask Arja to find us a ship, and let's not ask too many questions about where it came from. Provided, of course, it ends up back with its owner. We'll just be borrowing it.
Well, that's the trick now, isn't it, Captain?
It certainly will be in this case.
She has kind of a gleam in her eye. She says, okay, well, if you can take me back to the crossroads, which was that big kind of outpost, free-floating outpost where you met her, she says, I could probably scare up a ship there. Okay.
Let's head there first then. In the meantime, I'll get the engineering crews on finding what raw materials we've got on board. I don't know, sort of precious metals, that kind of thing, that we can use for cash when we get there. And I think we'd better come up with some personas.
Yeah, what's the cover story, guys?
I'm thinking sort of independent traders who have just made a killing and are now looking to have a little bit of fun. Maybe a small group that basically thinks they're all high rollers, but in fact they come across as complete rubes.
Yeah, so you know that terraforming is sort of the big industry on this planet because while they've built this city, this domed city that provides some kind of civilization, what the kind of ongoing project is to slowly terraform this entire harsh planet into something much more livable. So maybe a cover story that involves terraforming might be in order.
I guess some of it is going to depend on what kind of ship Audrey finds for us. So let's wait and see what she comes back with, and then I mean we could go in as I don't know, miners or engineers who have kind of struck it rich, that kind of thing.
Cool.
Let's see what she brings us.
Yeah, so she asks you to give her a ride back to the crossroads, and then she gives you some coordinates in deep space, and she says, "Meet me. Well, this is where we'll rendezvous. I want you to. I can't have my contacts on the crossroads knowing that I just beamed off a Starfleet ship, that I'm working with you. So just drop me off and then leave, and meet me. Rendezvous with me at these coordinates."
Okay, I guess we trust her.
Yeah, go ahead and give me an insight plus command roll, Captain Harriman, with difficulty 0.
Okay. So I'm going to make it, basically.
Yes.
Oh. Insight plus command. Oops. Nope, that's the ship. Command. Oh, that was 3 successes.
Okay, so as you are just about to adjourn this meeting, you, for one thing, you generate 3 points of momentum as you're kind of sizing up Aja. She's contributing to your plan. And you get the sense from her that she really is reformed, that she no longer wants to have anything to do with the syndicate. She regrets the jobs that she did for the syndicate, and that she's really trying to make amends and leave her past in the past. So you feel, reasonably sure that you can send her out to find this ship, and she's going to make an honest effort to do
that. When she came on board, what did we do with her? We didn't give her any kind of a rank, did we? She was just like crew member.
Correct.
Okay. Well, since I can kind of see this in her, I'll have a short chat with her before she goes, and just let her know that it's against Starfleet policy for either a civilian or an enlisted crewman to take on this kind of mission. So I'm putting her in as for a temporary battlefield commission to ensign, so that he's actually an officer for the duration of this mission.
She says, she kind of smiles and she says, "Well, that's something I never thought I would hear, but okay, let's do it. Let's go with it."
Just thought that might act as an extra boost.
Yeah, she like at first she's surprised and she's like, "I never in a million years thought that this would be something I would be doing, but I think that's probably the right way forward. Thank you, Captain."
Okay, go do us proud.
And as she is filing out of the conference room, she kind of grabs Commander Han by the arm and says, do you have a moment, Commander?
Yeah. All right, what's going on, Aja?
Well, I couldn't help but notice that you sort of volunteered me for this mission.
Well, I thought you would like to have a chance to redeem yourself.
Well, you'd be right about that. That is an astute observation, Commander. And I know that you are someone who, like me, has been in some dangerous situations and has some combat experience and training. I just wanted to ask you, why are you so committed to this ship and this crew? Our skills can take us anywhere. There are limitless possibilities out there. So why are you here?
Well, it's a long story. Maybe if we have more time, I'll go into more detail. But in the past, I served on with another crew, and when it was my time to hold up my duty, I didn't quite come through, and it cost me a great deal of friends, and that experience still haunts me. You gotta live courageously, but you cannot sail without your crew. And I will not fail my duty when others rely on me. That's the reason why I serve the ship so faithfully as I do. And I have complete trust in Captain Harriman and Dr. Ozil and everyone else on the ship.
She says, well, I would like to hear more about that story someday if you ever have time to tell me everything. But I agree, and I too want to make amends for the past. And you feel like you've got some kind of understanding with her.
Nice.
Okay, cool. So we will cut that scene there, and it will be maybe a couple of days later. You've dropped Aja off at the crossroads, then quickly, warped away to the rendezvous coordinates that she left you. And so we're going to start a new scene on the bridge of the Venture with Captain Harriman in the captain's seat and Commander Han at the tactical station. Miguel, in the past, you've played a helmsman named Talbot. Do you have those statistics handy again? I think you're muted, Miguel.
Sorry. Yes. What's up?
Do you still have the statistics for Ensign John Talbot that you came up with a couple of sessions ago for a helmsman?
Let me see if I still do.
And if not, I've got some handy too. I just want to see if you've got yours.
I'm going to go look through all the PDFs I got because that's probably going to be under. Because I do know, I think I had his sheet. I was wondering if I had it in the main Star Trek folder or not.
If not, it's not a big deal. We can use some other statistics. I just want to check. If you don't have it handy right now, then we'll just roll.
It's going to be one of those things right when we go over with the next person, we're going to find it. So yeah, let's just go ahead and just get that going.
Okay, so you're going to once again play Ensign Talbot, who's the helmsman and navigator, as there's a scene on the bridge, and you guys are awaiting the you're waiting Aja to get there to the rendezvous point. She's a little bit later than you would have expected her to, but then all of a sudden, Commander Han, you detect two ships moving into the vicinity of your coordinates, and they are dropping out of warp.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I found it. It was in Google Drive.
Awesome. Excellent. So there you have it.
Captain, I detect two ships coming out of warp.
Should we get into red alert?
What? Hold on. Okay.
What, Mommy?
Sorry, guys. a little intrusion from the dog.
Raise your
Okay.
shields, the kids in.
Yes, exactly. Red alert. I'm sorry. What did you say, Yong?
Yeah, I say, Captain, I detect two ships dropping out of warp. Your orders, Captain.
I don't know. Commander, the captain's incapacitated. What do we do?
I don't know if.
Sorry.
Call the doctor.
Ray shields, but not red alert. So I guess that's yellow alert.
Yeah, so the palette will switch it to yellow alert.
Yellow alert, and let's see if we can find out what those ships are and who they are.
Yes, Captain.
Yeah, Yong, give me a insight plus security roll with a difficulty of 1, and you've got 3 points of momentum at your disposal.
Okay, 1 success.
Okay, so that's enough for kind of a cursory scan of the two ships. One looks like a freighter. The other is an Orion interceptor, and it looks like the Orion interceptor is running with weapons hot, and the freighter has taken some damage.
Hail the freighter.
Yeah, when you do so, the screen pops up and you see Aja in the pilot's seat, and she's like kind of sweaty and her hair is disheveled, and the ship is rocking from disruptor fire. And she says, I found us a ship, Captain.
Okay, hang on. Let's see if we can take care of this. Okay. Okay. Tactical phasers on the Orion ship.
Control
See if
burst,
you can
sir.
take it. See if you can take out their weapon systems.
Aye, aye, Captain. And he locks the phasers in on their weapon system and fires a few short bursts.
Okay. So, hold on just one second. Let's take just a quick break because I realized I don't have the Orion Interceptor statistics in the book that I have right here. So, is that cool, you guys?
Yep.
Okay. Be back in 5 minutes.
Photon torpedoes ready, Captain.
What? No. We just want to stop them fighting and make them run. Crying out loud. Excuse me.
No problem. Oh man, my little poodle has went up to my bed and it's taken my spot.
Yeah. Hi. Hi. Oh. Ow.
Hey there.
Hi. I'm Dorothy.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Dorothy.
We're doing great. Thanks to your dad, we're having a lot of fun.
Okay, run along. Tell him good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Was that the auxiliary GM?
And then a bigger Klingon battle cruiser arrives. Yes.
And then the Borg ship arrives too.
The
All right.
Super Klingon D7.
Okay. To reset the scene, Aja has commandeered a freighter, but she appears to have attracted the attention of an Orion interceptor. that has done some damage to the freighters. It warps into the rendezvous coordinates. Captain Harriman, you had ordered Yong to fire on the interceptor. Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, phasers, weapon systems only.
Okay, so to do that,
as they put it in the Italian job, you're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
That was good.
so Yong, ordinarily this would be a difficulty 2 roll, but if you are targeting a specific system, that increases the difficulty to 3. So if you want to hit specifically the weapon systems on this interceptor, it's going to be a difficulty 3 control plus security roll, and the ship can assist. And the ship will use its weapons, which is 9, plus security, which is 3, for 12. So someone can roll for the ship for with a target number of 12. Yong, you can roll as well, and then you've got 3 points of momentum at your disposal.
I'll do the ship.
Yeah, I'll take a momentum and use that one.
So you've got 3 dice.
Yep, ship succeeds.
Okay.
Ooh, I got 2 successes.
Okay, that's exactly what you needed for a total of 3 successes. So Commander Han, you target the interceptor and fire, and you do in fact hit the weapon systems on the interceptor. So you're going to roll some damage, and it is going to be, you're going to roll 8 challenge dice for the phasers. So 8 d6s, and tell me what you get.
Here we go.
Reroll them if they hit the floor.
Yep. All right, so I got 1, 2, 3 5s.
Okay.
And that's it. The other one, oh, okay. I got 1, 1, and 2, 1, 2. So let's see.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 7.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think.
6 damage?
I got 3 5s and 1, 2, and 1, 1.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So 6 6 damage, and let me see if the interceptor has any. Okay, so it does have 3 resistance, so we reduce the 6 points of damage by 3. So it does 3 points of damage to the Orion Interceptor's shields, which is not going to be enough to cause a breach. So it didn't really affect the operation of the Interceptor's shield or weapon systems yet, but it did drop the shields. And you've got 2 points of momentum. If you want to use those to, you can use those to either keep the initiative and allow one of your other crewmen to act, or you can use them to actually take another quick action yourself, Yong, but then anything you attempt will be at +1 difficulty penalty.
Okay. I will, yeah, I'll fire again. You know,
Okay. So this time, if you're going to just target the weapons again, it's going to be a difficulty 4 task.
Okay. He's just gonna, shoot at it, just to breach the shield.
Okay, so this will be a difficulty 3 roll then again, and someone can roll for the ship as well.
Okay, here we go. Ooh, I got 2 successes.
Make that 3. I got a 5.
Nice.
Okay, so 3 successes, that is enough. So you can roll your 8 challenge dice again, Yong, as you quickly recalibrate your target lock and fire the phasers again.
Let's do this. Ooh, I got 1 6, 2 5s, 2 1s, and 2 2s. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6 counts as 2 or 1?
6 is just 1.
Okay, so 9 points of damage, and I think 2's an effect die, right?
The 5s and 6s are effects.
Yeah, 6 is an effect die, right? Okay.
Yes. Okay. So we subtract 3 from that from the resistance.
I think that's a breach.
It will be. So that will cause 2 breaches. One for because you did more than 5 points of damage, the other for reducing the interceptor's shields to 0. So, Yong, I need you to roll a d20 and tell me what you get.
5.
Okay, so that is engines, and then roll it again.
13.
13 is structure. So you deal 2 breaches to the Orion interceptor, neither of which is to the interceptor's weapons as you intended. You do one to the engines and to the structure as well. So your sensors indicate that there's maybe fires breaking out at various points of the ship, but it is pretty well damaged, and it is now going to use its turn. Since you kept the momentum, you can't do that again. It uses its turn to use its remaining power to retreat, and it jumps to warp and leaves the area.
Well done, Commander.
Thank you, Captain. Well, I was hoping to simply disable the weapon system, but it turns out that I did a little bit more with that second burst.
I was actually hoping you'd just disable the weapon system as well. But no matter. We got what we wanted. We drove them off.
Yes. They're probably really scared. At least you didn't kill them.
Well, hopefully no one died there.
So is this freighter small enough to fit in the shuttle bay, or too big?
Sure. Yes. No, you can fit it in the shuttle bay.
Let's get it in there then. Excuse me. Then the engineering teams can go to work on repairing some of that damage.
Yeah, so Aja tells you over the communication system. So I tried to get away Queen, but the Orions still had syndicate agents set up at the crossroads, and so I kind of put up a red flag when I went aboard the station. So we're going to need to do something to change this ship's warp signature. Otherwise, they're going to know it's me when we go to the that colony was called, the Pomara colony.
Okay. I'll get Aja to do sort of a quick sketch of whatever she wants done to the ship. So if she wants any changes made to it, or any repairs made or anything like that, I'll get her to write it down. And then I'll get the engineering teams together and say, okay, guys, we've got 2 days to make that, and he points to the ship, look like that, and he points to the drawing.
Yeah, so she just, she thinks like a light reconfiguration of some parts of the hull, and then disguising the warp signature, which shouldn't be too difficult for a Starfleet engineering team.
And then I've got a really difficult job for her. She's got to train the rest of us. If we're going in as a landing party, then we're going to need to know how to act in the presence of the syndicate. What to say, what not to say, how to act, how to attract attention, but not too much attention.
She says, well, of course, Captain, the most important thing is Orion women are going to be able, they make it a habit of manipulating people. They're very good at it. You can't take anything that Seema says or does at face value. She's very good at sizing people up and extracting information from them, even without them knowing it.
So I'm guessing then, if we have characters and personalities that are very close to our own, that would help. So, for example, Dr. Ozil would still be my personal doctor, say, and the commander would be my security detail, personal protection.
I've always been a believer in the best lies contain some amount of truth.
Okay. So what's likely to attract their attention there? What sort of things can we take them that we might have on board the Venture that they would be willing to accept as currency, or at least in exchange for chips?
Dilithium is always valuable. I believe that there is some latinum seals and some of the equipment. We could extract latinum from some of the gear and engineering. Either of those would be of value to the syndicate.
Okay, let's
Of
get
course-
the engineering crews on that then.
Of course, people is also very important to the syndicate. They have engaged in the slave trade for decades.
I think we might have to draw the line there.
I had a feeling you'd say that, Captain.
And how would she feel about coming along? With appropriate surgical modifications, of course.
I'm invested in seeing this mission be a success.
I'm just thinking that our chances of success would probably increase dramatically if we had somebody that actually understood the syndicate along with us.
She says, I would feel better if Commander Han was part of the team as well.
Oh, absolutely. I'm thinking Commander Han because of his expertise and probably the Doctor because of his. I mean, you never know. But I'm also thinking keep it small, maybe just the 4 of us. So if I were to go in as, say, a trader who's just struck it big with a hold full of latinum and dilithium, I've got my personal physician with me, my personal security, and I don't know, an Orion slave girl.
I think that sounds like a terrific plan. It's a part I've played before, Captain.
There we go. And then the mission is to get inside wherever Seema might be, find out where she is, get close to her, and see if we can figure out a way to extract her.
Sounds good. Dr. Ozil and Commander Han, you have any questions or concerns?
No, that's fine. I guess I'm gonna have to go and get myself measured.
Well, in terms of the permissible weapons, are we allowed to? Would we be too conspicuous with our phasers?
I think probably Starfleet phasers, yes. We might have to see if we can either find or trade for or otherwise get hold of. Oh, the freighter might have some on board. Some other weapons. Non-Federation phasers or disruptors or something like that. We don't really want to take anything with us that could identify us as Starfleet.
Yeah, Seema says, yeah, there were some non-Federation phase pistols and scanning devices aboard the freighter when I stole or borrowed it.
That'll do.
All right. Well, I'm all set, Captain. Whenever you're ready.
Anything else that you think we might need to take? And I'm assuming here, by the way, that the commander will be very well armed, and the Doctor and I might just have like the equivalent of phaser 1s on us.
So if you wanted someone to take a particle rifle,
Oh, wow.
there would be an opportunity cost with that, or an escalation cost, which means you'd be paying threat to have someone have access to one.
A particle rifle might be a little bit over the top for personal security. But I'm just thinking that he would probably have the equivalent of, say, a phaser 2, whereas the Doctor and I would just have phaser 1s.
Okay. Well, so if you want to take your standard issue phasers, you can do that, or you can take phase pistols, which are aboard the freighter.
Yeah, I'm just talking like equivalents. So we wouldn't be quite as well armed as our personal security guy. Or whatever.
So I've just got one. There's just one phase pistol on the table.
Oh, in that case, that belongs to the commander. I don't know. I don't think it's worth taking anything that's Starfleet.
Oh, okay, I'll tell you what. You, Aja, the captain, and the doctor will take phase pistols, and Han can take a disruptor pistol, which has a little bit more.
Wait a second. Han has a batleth.
He gave it back, but maybe he had one replicated because he liked it so much.
No, actually, his character, he actually has one of those old, Korean straight edge sword from like the 14th century or something.
You just mean that Chinese sword-looking thing, right? The Dao?
No, not those curved blades, but it's a straight blade.
Sure.
I think you got
like, is it a Korean? Is it a Chinese or Japanese sword?
No,
Maybe
it's
like
a Korean
Korean.
blade.
Wait, you guys had something other than that thing that just shoots lots of arrows?
Yeah.
If you want to take that, I think that'd be awesome. So you can have a sword and a disruptor pistol if you want.
Nice. Yeah, he's gonna take one of those old medieval, straight edge long swords.
Cool. Yeah,
from
strapped over your back.
From his neck of the woods. Yep.
Awesome.
So you've got, like, the Doctor and myself, I don't know, very well dressed, fairly impeccably dressed. You've got the Commander, who's very well dressed and armed to the teeth.
Swashbuckler.
So
Yes.
I'm imagining that you guys are sort of entering the transporter room one by one. So yeah, Captain Harriman and Dr. Ozil, you walk in like impeccably dressed in like suits, very dapper. And Commander Han, how you enter the transporter room, and how are you looking?
We're not transporting down, though, are we? We're taking the freighter.
Yes, stepping onto the freighter. I'm sorry, correct.
It'll be like I think it's the four of us sort of walking across the floor of the shuttle bay, doing the sort of Ocean's 11 walk, slow motion.
Yes. There we go.
So Commander Han looks like a well-armed, sword-wielding, a disruptor pistol whipping, gangster. Like,
and then
he's a thug.
And then Aja joins you, and she's wearing this beautiful kind of silk dress that it's just like impeccably made as well, which just looks dazzling.
Nice.
But also carries a clutch where she is keeping her phase pistol as well.
Yeah, I think the captain's got sort of nicely tailored suit and jacket, and he's sort of walking across the shuttle bay, just adjusting his cufflinks.
Excellent. Awesome. So you guys climb aboard the freighter, and you are free to set a course. Who's going to sit? Aja makes a beeline to the pilot's chair. Does anyone respond to that?
She's probably the best pilot here.
Ozil is going to be going to the science station.
Okay, Commander, you're on tactical.
Yes.
Yeah. What little tactical we've got. Okay, take us out, Ensign.
Okay, she says, yeah, Captain, I thought for a second maybe you'd argue with me about who's going to drive.
Well, you were doing a pretty good job against the Orion Interceptor.
Okay, cool. So she, this is going to be a difficulty 0 task, and she has control plus con of 14. And if someone wants to roll for that, you can. Someone go ahead and roll 2d20s and tell me if you get a 14 or lower on either of them.
Okay, I'll go roll. Let's see. I got at 11 and 5.
Okay, so 2 successes there. That'll generate 2 points of momentum, and then someone can roll for, I'm just going to use shuttlecraft statistics for this freighter, and it's going to be engines plus con, which is 6. Someone else can roll 1d20 and tell me if you get a 6 or better.
Hang on.
I got 17. 17, I'm sorry.
Okay, so no. Okay, so Aja generates 2 points of momentum as she pilots the ship out of the Venture shuttle bay toward the Pomara colony. And so the planet itself is pretty rugged and desolate, but there are terraforming teams throughout all over the planet, kind of covering the planet, slowly terraforming the planet into something that's a little bit more hospitable to life. However, there is one large domed city in the middle of an expansive desert. The desert is constantly undergoing sandstorms, but the city itself is actually splendid. The sensors show that machinery rises above the dome to capture moisture and sunlight, and beneath the dome is a kind of paradise where there's terraced greenhouse gardens, luxurious high-rise apartments, and most of the people that live there seem to work for this company called Growth, which is like a terraforming cooperative that oversees the terraforming process of this planet. And so Aja puts the freighter into a standard orbit, and she says, "What's the plan, gentlemen?"
I don't know. I guess a normal sort of trader would land at starport, wouldn't they? So, or have we got a starport in orbit? Or have we got it on the ground? We want to be like normal traders, so.
Yeah, she suggests just using the transporter pads in the that city, that dome city. That would be the first place you would check in if you were traders.
Okay, and are we going to be all right leaving the ship unmanned? Because at some point, all four of us are going down.
Yes,
maybe you should have brought one other person, but
you could say that you can use a. How about Talbot? How about Ensign Talbot stays aboard the freighter?
Yes, he's gonna get like we'll just say like for comedy's sake, he has a disruptor rifle, and he's like, "I'm prepared in case I have to go down with the ship."
There we go. Yeah.
It's the sort of, okay, Ensign. So if you don't hear from us for 12 hours, you know what to do, don't you?
Set the self-destruct.
No, you come down and rescue us.
Yes, of course.
No, yeah, that's a lot better. That doesn't involve me dying with the ship. That's good.
Cool. So Talbot can operate the freighter's transporters to send you down if that's what you want.
Sure. And of course, the order to Talbot will be, if anything gets hairy, then just get out of here. Contact the Venture, bring them back.
He says, "Understood, sir." And flips the switch on the transporter. The transporter effect washes over all of you, and you are beamed down into this splendid city underneath this huge dome. And outside the dome, you can see that there are harsh sandstorms raging outside, but inside there's like this golden glow that encompasses everything, and everything is clean and in perfect working order. There are hanging gardens that sort of wind their way up these high-rise apartments, and it's really quite a lovely, pleasant place to be.
Okay. Well, I think if we're acting like traders, the first thing to do is get in touch with the port master and see about offloading some of our cargo. See if we can't convert it into cash that we can use to get into the casinos. We need to convert it to cash,
man. I'm burning.
Yeah, so you can find like I said, the main kind of commercial presence here is Growth, the terraforming cooperative, and they've got some kind of customs facility set up for just what you're proposing, Captain Harriman.
Yep, we'll let the local customs know what we've got on board, and I guess we'll kind of hit the local bulletin boards and just spend at least a few hours looking at where we can sell some of our cargo.
Yeah, so it's pretty busy. The trade is one of the busiest kinds of commerce that goes on here. So you go up to these boards that are like holographic interfaces, and you can make some deals if you like. I won't make you roll for it, but you're able to come up with plenty of credits.
Yeah, we'll get enough to operate with at the moment, but we'll make it clear that we've got more on board that we're going to be trading later.
Yeah,
and then
is there anyone in mind in particular that you want to be talking to, cutting these deals with?
No, I mean I think to keep the cover up, we need to at least make good deals, or at least decent deals. But we need to do them fairly quickly. In fact, we'll probably probably act as exactly the way we want to, which is we want to make some good deals, but we also want cash because we want to hit the casinos hard.
Yeah, so you're able to sell some of the dilithium that you have on board the freighter, and Ensign Talbot can beam that to whatever warehouse it needs to go to, and you see that there are credits transferred into an account in your name.
Cool. Okay. So, I guess the next thing is, how do we start asking around about Seema without asking around about Seema?
Well, Captain, if we spend a lot of money here in the casino, either win or lose big, I'm pretty certain that may attract her attention.
We clean out the casino, then she's going to have to kill us. So, how about that one?
Doctor, you're not suggesting that we rob her, are you?
No, I'm feeling lucky, guys. I think we can do it.
Does she own the casinos here, or does she just come here to gamble? That's the thing. We just need to attract her attention.
Well then, let me introduce you to the Old Earth game of roulette, where it's very much, if you're feeling hot, everyone is going to feel hot.
Well, Doctor,
roulette's a game of chance, though. I don't think Seema would be into chance. I think we've got to look at something like poker.
Aja says, you guys keep mentioning all these Earth games. Seema has probably never heard of them. She is a Domjot shark.
Oh.
If I recall correctly, aren't the rules for Domjot like similar to roulette?
It's more like pool. You take little sticks and shoot little discs around a table. Bounce them off one another.
Yeah. So I guess we'll be playing Domjot.
Does anybody actually know how to play Domjot?
well, I suppose we could put a large sum of money and then start losing in Domjot, and in the process,
We're not losing, we're winning. What about Dabo? That was the game I'm thinking of.
Yes.
win or lose. Let's give it a shot, and I'm sure we'll be conspicuous enough to catch her attention.
Let's throw some money around the sort of, I don't know, the low level Domjot tables. But how about we make it clear to people there that we're looking for a much higher level of game. That this stuff's kind of it's just below us. We want like the top notch games to go to.
Yeah. If you give me some stuff, give me a bit of it. I can also try dealing with the Dabo table, see about it.
Sure. I think if Seema is that big a fan of Domjot, then she's going to be in like the private games.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can find those.
Hando at first walks up to the nearest Domjot table and puts down like half of what he's carrying, this big old amount of credit, and says, "Well, deal me in, folks. I'm not sure how to play this game, but let's have a go at it."
And so as soon as you say that, Commander Han, Tellarite kind of comes up behind you and he says, "Oh, you say you've never played before. Let me teach you."
All right. Yeah, let's have a game. You can teach me as we go along.
And he kind of holds out his mitt and he says, "Drek Vinark." And he kind of sizes you up and he says, "A big bozo like you, this is a game that requires a lot of dexterity. I have very low expectations for you."
Well, you win some, you lose some. Let's have at it then. Tell me the basic rules.
So yeah, he explains them to you, and it reminds you, if you're looking for an Earth game that seems like Domjot, it's like pool. There's a large table with it's kind of a cross between pool and maybe pinball, because there's all sorts of electronics and spinners and lights on the table. And the point is to take your cue, your stick, and shoot the little discs around the table in strategic ways.
Nice. Yeah, he places his bet and gives it a go.
Okay, so you will roll an opposed roll with Drek Vinark. And so give me a, we'll say, hold on, let me pull up his character sheet here. It's going to be control, and I don't know, there isn't really a very good good one for gaming. I guess security, because you're in kind of like I'll let you use security because you're in like an undercover situation. So control plus security. And it will be
Fred, I have a question. I have the focus of composure. I think that really applies to gambling.
okay. So Commander Han is the one playing the game here. How would you?
Yeah, I'm going to be in a different table. I'm going to be playing a different game.
Okay. So you're playing Dabo?
Yeah, because of DS9, of course.
Okay. So we'll resolve this thing with
Han first.
Han.
See how Han does this.
So in the meantime, the captain and Arjun are kind of sitting on a big sofa, watching these two go off and learn Domjot and desperately look for a Dabo table. And he kind of leans over to us and goes, "So what do you think our odds are then?"
Okay.
She takes one look at Drek Van Ark, and she says, he's clearly hustling Commander Han. That's bad for him, but I am convinced that he might know something. He seems like he plays a lot of Domjot around here, and I know that's Seema's favorite game.
Well, let's hope they don't lose too big then.
So yeah, Commander Han, go ahead and give me control plus security. And you've got 2 points of momentum to spend if you like.
Okay, I'm gonna spend 1 momentum.
Okay.
Okay, 2 successes.
Okay, he got at least 3, maybe 4. Let me look at his character sheet again. So he got 3 successes. And so you actually put up more. It's actually a pretty close game. It goes down to the last round, I guess. But he is able to pull out the victory, and he kind of snickers at you and says, "I told you wouldn't be very good at this game."
I don't know. I mean, for the first timer, I think I did all right. Double or nothing for the rest of my credit. And I'm sure the captain and the doctor may have more, but I would say let's have it another go.
Of course. And well, as he queues up another game, we will cut to the Dabo table with Dr. Ozil.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this. I'm looking like, yeah, I haven't done this since here, although it's more along the lines of I prefer blackjack. But let's see about this game. What's the buy-in?
So I don't know. We'll say like
Couple of bars of Latinum, all of that.
Yeah, a strip of land.
The girl just smiles, all of this. Airing or control?
How much do you think is riding on this game? What are you hoping to accomplish? Just make some money, or is there something else?
I think ultimately I want to really double my earnings, but also like really get this table to be really hot. Like I recall, like everyone loves Dabo, and when someone's really hot on Dabo, they all scream Dabo, right?
Yep. So we'll say it's a difficulty 2 roll, and you can use daring or control, whichever you like, plus security.
Okay, let's go. Do we have a momentum?
You have 1 momentum left, yes.
I 1 momentum. And composure applies, so I got to get a 2 or less.
Okay.
7 and 8. So I got my 2. And 12, which is under 13. So yeah, 3 successes.
Okay, so you generate a point of momentum, and you score a Dabo.
Yeah, I'm like, man, this is fun. Getting everyone else pumped up. Let's see if there's going to be more people coming in. I'll roll again.
Okay.
Momentum. Five, so I got 1. Let's see if I can get another. Yes! Another Dabo. 4.
Okay. How many successes did you get there?
2.
2. Okay, cool. So you are starting to heat up the table. And is there anything Captain Harriman or Aja want to do while this is going on? I think you're muted, Paul, if you're speaking.
Yep, sorry about that. Yes, I think while this is going on, Captain Harriman's going to be asking a few people, like say the barman or the waitress, just saying, you know, that he and his friends are big Domjot fans, and kind of finding some of the games out here a little amateurish. Is there anywhere that does professional level games? Anything private, something that we can bet a little more on?
So yeah, there's a bartender that says your companion over there playing that Tellarite. That Tellarite is definitely the best known Domjot shark around here. He is very good at taking advantage of inexperienced players.
Okay, so he's going to be somebody to have a chat to once the commander finishes with him.
Yeah, if Domjot's your game, talk with Drek.
Okay. Aside from that, no, we're just going to sit and watch these two.
Okay.
They're spending enough money for all of us.
He's getting lots and lots of mixed drinks.
So the Dabo table is heating up. A small crowd is gathering around as this newcomer, this mysterious newcomer, starts to play the game. We'll cut back to the Domjot table as Commander Han is about to go double or nothing with this Tellarite. And the Tellarite says, "Are you sure you wish to lose your money that badly?" I think you're muted, Yong, if you're speaking.
Yeah, he says, well, I think you're quite convinced that you're going to win this no matter what. And then he looks at him and he's scanning him, using his old, security observation to see whether if it's cheating.
So go ahead. Are you trying to conceal this?
Yeah, he's like, looking at him and seeing whether if he's, using some sort of a mechanism or if he's making any, extra movements while he's like
Yeah,
shooting
give
these
me
things.
an insight plus security roll. Difficulty 1.
Yeah, 2 successes.
Okay, so you generate a point of momentum, and you try to surreptitiously scan this Tellarite you've been playing, and you don't see any, both the Tellarite and the table. You don't see any evidence that he's cheating. You scan him and you don't detect any weapons or anything like that. This guy seems to be on the up and up, although he's kind of obnoxious and argumentative. Now give me a control plus security roll to see how well you conceal this that you're scanning him.
Ooh, 2 successes, 4 and 6.
Okay, I'll see if you was able to beat that. Okay, no. So he does not appear to notice that you're scanning him. He's sizing up the table, getting ready to play again.
All right. I'm gonna use my momentum, but I'm putting all of the stuff that he has, because in the previous game he put half of it, and now he's putting all of it. So he's gonna be either completely broke or he's gonna get his money back. Hopefully.
Okay, got a control plus security roll. Opposed by Drek Van Arks.
It's not daring plus security.
Yeah, you can use daring if you like. Since you've got you got all your money riding on this.
Yeah. All right, here we go. 11 and 15, 2 successes so far. Come on.
Okay.
13, 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay, so describe for me how you're able to pull out a surprising victory against this Tellarite.
Okay. The first one was kind of close, and then he's like mimicking exactly what he's doing, what the other opponent's doing, but on the last second, on the last try, he puts a little bit more push towards the ball, and the cue just hits it perfectly, and then starts going between these pins and racking up the score. And his eyes widen, and he's like, "Yes!"
So Drek glares at you and he says, "You must be cheating. If I find out that you're cheating, I have some very powerful friends on this planet, and you'll wish you hadn't tried to take advantage of me."
Well, it sounds like you're trying to discredit a fair winning here. Perhaps we should move on to a higher table where we could risk greater amount. I don't think this table here is big enough for both of us here. Let us move to a bigger table.
A bigger table? What do
Bigger
you mean by
wagers. Bigger table, bigger wagers. And you have my word that I'm not cheating. You've seen what I was doing.
Very good, my friend. If you wish to be parted with some more of your money and I could get a chance to make mine back, then yes, why don't you and your friends come with me upstairs to a private game?
Sounds good enough.
Okay, Mr. Bond, the wager is your life.
God. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he returns to the captain and says, "Well, Captain, it seems we have a buy-in."
Excellent. Okay, are you sure you can pull this off?
I have no idea, Captain. I'm pulling stuff out of my nether regions right now.
Okay, well, let's not forget why we're here. Ultimately, we're on the lookout for Seema. If we can't see her there, and I presume Aja can identify her positively.
Well, Aja did say that it's her favorite game, and I think the table that we're moving on to is probably the bigger, higher wager table, so hopefully we'll see her there.
Okay, let's see how it goes then.
So yeah, this Drek Vinark leads you upstairs to a private room where there is like a deluxe Domjot table set up, and he says the minimum bet for this table, and he gives a number that's like everything you've got. You're pretty much gonna have to go all in on this game.
He also is missing an eye, has an eye patch, and he's petting a cat.
We'll go with missing an eye.
Like,
Oh,
holy
man.
hell, Young, you basically walked into the James Bond gambling part.
It's Casino Royale.
Exactly. Just don't pull an Austin Powers and stay on it too.
But you also notice as he leads you into the room that there are a handful, we'll say 4 large Orion men who are also just kind of hanging out, having a drink in the room. They're like, most of their chest and their big muscly green arms are like exposed. Still wish to play?
Of course. Double or nothing. I'm all in, my friend.
Okay, he racks up the table, and it will, once again, this is for everything you've got, and it will be another control plus security roll opposed by Drek Vinarks, and you've got 1 point of momentum. I'm spending some threat on this roll. Get some extra dice. Did I lose you? Oh,
No, I'm here.
okay, cool. That's awesome.
Oh, brother. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna take that momentum,
Okay.
and his heart's racing. So could I do daring plus security again?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Come on, baby. All right. 2 successes.
Okay. Drek got 3.
Oh man.
You wish to spend a determination.
The roll has been Drek this time just like absolutely clobbers you. It turns out he was hustling you the entire time, and so he picks up a pad and transfers the credits to his account, and then he starts walking out and he says, "Boys, take out the trash for me." And these 4 Orions get up and start moving towards you, looking rather threatening.
And Commando Han says, "Look, boys, I lost fair and square. He took my money. Do you really have to beat me up?"
And kind of yelling over his shoulder, Drekvanark says, "We don't want you to forget the lesson that you learned here today."
You forget that I'm not alone and there's a lot more money to be had. I don't think we're done playing, my friend.
Give me what are Dr. Ozil and Captain Harriman doing right now?
Let's just see. Same difficulty, and I'm going to go ahead and roll.
What are you trying to do?
I'm still playing Dabble. I got 3 and a 3, so I still am winning all of this.
I think you're on your own then, because the rest of us left.
Yeah, everyone went up to the
Oh my god! Oh my goodness! No one told me. This is bad. I look up, turn on my feel like, oh god, where did everyone else go?
Doctor
So, yeah,
has a serious gambling problem.
Yeah, we discovered the doctor has a gambling problem.
You've made a fortune, but you look up and you realize it's been like an hour, and you have no idea where your comrades are.
Yeah. Is there a bigger buy-in table? I'll ask the Dabble girl.
Upstairs, sir.
Sure. I am allowed to go upstairs, right?
If you have the credits.
I look at the credits. I'm like, yeah, I think so. So I'll just rush upstairs.
Okay, cool. What about
with like the jacket I pulled out to hold all the credits I got?
What about Captain Harriman?
I'm just taking a minute.
Yes, you find out the doctor has a gambling problem.
He'll turn around to the 4 Orions and to the Tellarite and just say, "Okay, I think you passed the test."
And what test would that be? One of the Orion says.
And the captain sort of slowly walks over to one of the nearby chairs, just kind of sits down and crosses his legs. And he says, "Well, we really need to figure out if we were dealing with the real thing here or just a bunch of lookalikes. But I like the way you handled us. I'm going to need to talk to your boss."
Give me a presence plus command roll, and I'll oppose it with one of these guys.
Have we got any momentum spare?
You have 0 momentum.
Yeah.
But you could spend threat, if you like.
Yeah, sure.
How many?
I just want the 1 extra dice, just to give myself that little bit of an edge.
Okay.
Okay. Presence in command. 3, 5, 4 successes.
Wow. Okay. So you generate. He got 2 successes. So you generate 2 points of momentum, and the Orion kind of squints at you and sizes you up, and says, "In no way am I admitting that I've got any kind of boss here, but supposing I did, what would you want to say?"
I think there's a good chance that we can do some business. You've seen what we've splashed around today: dilithium, latinum. We've got a few more things in the hold of the ship, and there's more where that came from.
What
But
kind of?
we can only deal with the right kind of person.
What kind of cargo are you running?
What kind of cargo would you like? We've got contacts in the Federation that can, shall we say, allow most things through. The dilithium and the latinum we brought today is just a sample.
He, for like an interminable moment, you're not sure if he's going to try and gut you or if he's going to take you to his boss. And he says, "All right, follow me." But of course, you'll have to leave your weapons here.
Okay. I think we can go along with that. I mean, it's a chance, but what the hell? Got to gamble.
And so at this moment, Dr. Ozil, you're wandering upstairs and you stumble into this room and you see what's happening. And one of the Orions is like, "Is that guy with you? Is he cool?"
Yeah, he's cool. Hey, Doc.
Yeah.
Come on. I think we've got a deal going.
Okay. I'll just look at the table. That's like the dabble table. Sadly, as I have to go and get on my job.
Come on, Doc. You're on the clock.
Yeah, I'm always on the clock. That's the problem.
So one of the Orions like opens up like a locker, a drawer, kind of swishes open. He says, "You can leave your weapons there. I'll take you to see the boss."
You're going to keep your sword on you, aren't you, Commander?
There's no
Also,
way.
Hando.
There's no way that I'm gonna part with this baby. Well, it's one of those old-time, quite ancient blade that I won in a game long ago. There's no way in hell that I'm gonna part with this, Captain, or Rob.
Dear. If the Orions object, I'll just say to him, "Come on, guys. There's four of you, and you're armed with disruptors. Are you really scared of a human with a pig sticker?"
Oh no, we ain't scared. We ain't scared. All right. Okay, he can keep the antique. He can keep the old relic.
That's what I like to hear. You're the kind of people we wanted to deal with. You're reasonable. You listen. Now let's go see the boss.
All right. He leads you to an elevator, in kind of like a hidden area of the casino. And before you get in the elevator, he pulls out some like overcoats, long leather overcoats with hoods on them as well. He says, "Where we're going, the weather is very bad, so you're going to want to wear one of these." And he pulls one on himself.
Hey, it's like we're in the Midwest, aren't we, GM? Wearing multiple coats.
Yes.
Dear. Okay. Where are they going to take us?
So you all crowd onto this elevator, and it takes you just straight up. And it goes on for a long, long time, longer than you expected it to. And when it opens up, you are greeted with just this wind, this harsh wind blasting you in your face, carrying with it all kinds of sand and grit. And you have to squint to even be able to see anything. And you realize that he has taken you above the dome onto the very top of the dome. You're no longer inside the domed area. You are high up above the city and in the middle of this sandstorm. And you can see that there's all kinds of equipment that's like little towers set up here and there that you assume are for like catching solar radiation and stuff like that to power the city. But there's also like little makeshift, there's like a shanty town of kind of prefabricated buildings and shipping crates and stuff like that. And he starts leading you into this storm.
Okay. Everybody keep close. So at the moment, we're actually on top of the dome.
Yes, and your guide tells you, yeah, they call this the canopy. It's kind of, the city government knows it's there, but they don't really keep tabs of it because of the sandstorms, makes equipment unreliable. So we hang out up here. We've kind of claimed this as our own.
Interesting.
Yeah, the city doesn't bother with this. It's kind of a sweet deal, but it's not good for the suit.
Yeah, tell me about it. I don't like the sand. It gets everywhere.
Yeah, that's that's the worst part of it all. But we go down into the casinos and we make deals. It ain't so bad.
And who are you taking us to?
I'm taking you to the boss lady.
Does she have a name?
Yeah, it's Seema.
Interesting.
How many of these goons are here right now?
There are 4 of them.
And how many of us are here?
Great.
There are 4 of you.
Mhm.
The 3 of you plus Aja.
Cool.
So there's actually 5 of these, isn't there? Because there's the 4 Orions plus the Tellarite.
The Tellarite did not get in the elevator with you.
Oh, right. It's just the 4
And,
Orions.
and the Midwest weather.
this terrible Midwestern weather. And
If it gets any more colder, your shuttle won't start.
yeah, you gotta go out and warm it up. Scrape off the windshield.
I'll
You'll have a heart attack as you're shoveling.
drop back a bit to talk to the commander and just sort of lean in close and go, so what do you think? Do we act now or do we act once we get to see Seema? We know there's going to be at least 4 Orions once we get there. Could be more. Your tactical assessment.
Well, Captain, I think we could probably act here, but once we get there, we don't know what to expect. There may be a locked door. These folks may have to escort us into their inner chambers. We could knock out the 3 and keep one as hostage.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to care much about hostages, unfortunately.
Well, he could probably pretend that he's escorting us, unless he wants to be, captain.
Let's just leave things as they are for the moment. But stay alert. Don't forget you're the only one of us that's armed.
Yes, Captain.
The rest of us are going to have to do it the old-fashioned way, unfortunately.
All right, so your Orion escorts lead you to just beyond this shanty town. There's a fenced-off complex of several prefab buildings, and the go inside this fence, and there's a central building, and they kind of open up a doorway and lead you inside. And inside is a small room, but it's pretty lushly appointed with computer equipment, surveillance equipment, but also there's like some fine art in there, like some luxuries. There's maybe some tea and a wet bar set up, and there is an Orion woman, an imposing looking Orion woman who is kind of sitting behind a desk in the middle of it all with her feet propped up on the desk. It's like a fine polished wooden desk. And she says, as you walk in, she says, "Oh, I see it's Captain Harriman, and you've brought Aja. So kind of you."
Ah, crap.
And as she says that, Commando Han does his elbow, boosh, elbows the guy that's right next to him and tries to knock him out.
Okay, well, this will, of course, be a combat situation. I'm going to grab just a little more water because my voice is getting a little scratchy, but then we'll play this out. So just give me 1 or 2 minutes, all right?
The moment when you realize she's going to recognize the captain.
Okay, we all there?
Yep.
Okay, so just to reset the scene, you've been led by 4 Orion thugs into this chamber where Seema is waiting for you behind a desk. Now, Commander Han, you said that you wanted to kind of take the initiative and act first, right?
Yes.
All right, what do you do?
He elbows the guy and tries to grab his arm and does a little judo move. And I'm trying to get like this guy thrown against another guy, so trying to take out two guys at once.
Okay. Give me a control or daring plus security roll opposed by the Orion's control plus security roll. You've got 2 points of momentum. You also all have your what do you call them? What's the word for your determination? You all have 1 determination point that will give you an automatic critical success.
Nice. He's gonna do. You live only once. You live courageously. And yeah, I'm gonna spend 1 momentum. Also.
Okay. So you get 3 dice, and you've got an automatic. If you're using your determination, that gives you an automatic critical. So you've got your 2 successes there.
Okay.
Ryan gets
I got 2
3 successes.
Ooh, 3 successes from the roll. So
Okay.
5 successes total.
Total of 5. So you get 3 points of momentum generated. So you've now got 4 in your pot.
Right.
As you grab the nearest Orion, and swing him into the one next to him. You can roll damage if you want to add. And so the damage that you roll will be 1 plus your security discipline. And you've got 4 points of momentum that you can add additional challenge dice, damage dice if you want to.
Okay. So I'm gonna add. What do you guys think? Should I add all 4?
Sure, take them out.
All right. So 1, 2.
Sweep the leg.
All right. I have qualities. Unarmed strike with the mean right hook gives him knockdown.
Yes.
Non-lethal vicious. Okay. So I think he does normally 6 points of damage for the unarmed strike. So on his sheet. So I got 1, 6, 5, 6, 5, and 4 more. There you go. 1, 6, and 1, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of damage and 1, 2, 3 effects.
Okay, so you knock him down.
You guys are vicious, so that effect actually adds in as an extra damage. So it's not 6; it's like 9.
And so, yeah, that will definitely be enough to injure the Orion pirate. Describe for me how you do that, Yong.
Yeah, so with his right arm, he does his elbow strike because the guy was like right behind him or something, and he does the elbow. And as he leans down and goes, oof, he grabs his arm and then, does a judo move using the momentum to flip the guy against the next goon right next to the captain.
Yeah, so we'll say that takes out one of the goons and then knocks another one to the ground. So right now there's just two goons who are standing up and 1 goon on the ground, plus Seema behind the desk. And you no longer have any momentum. So if you want to pass the initiative to either Captain Harriman or Ozil, you'll have to pay me 2 threat. Do you want to do that?
I do. Yep, Captain.
Oh, well, I guess we knew it was always coming down to this. Okay, Captain will take a swing at the nearest Orion.
Okay, that will be daring plus security, opposed by the Orion.
Daring plus security. Okay.
I'm going to spend a momentum to get an extra die on this roll. I got 3 successes.
Oh, sorry, I should have said yes to the momentum, shouldn't I? I was looking something up. Yes, I will spend the momentum.
So you don't have it. I paid threat to get maybe I misspoke. You don't have any momentum because Yong just spent it all to get his extra challenge dice with the first one. Do you want to pay me threat?
No.
Okay, I got 3 successes on my roll. And you have your determination as well.
Yeah. I can just manage 3.
Okay, so on a tie, it goes to the aggressor, which is you. So go ahead and roll damage.
Oh, no, strike is 5. So I've got a 2, a 4, a 3, a 4, and a 1.
2, 4, 3, 4, 3, 1. So 1, 2, 3. 3 points of damage.
Looks like it.
Okay.
I'm embarrassed actually because as both a programmer and a Star Trek Adventures player, that's the one thing I just cannot do. I can never get the damage right in my head.
So 3 damage. Okay. Very good. Okay, so now the initiative jumps to one of the pirate that you are now like engaged with a melee with, Captain Harriman. He pulls out a dagger from his belt, and he is going to try and cut you with it. So I need you to give me another daring plus security roll.
Okay. 1 success.
2 successes. So he slides that dagger into your side.
Ooh.
And does... He does 6 points of damage. So that will cause an injury unless you pay me 2 threat or spend your determination to stay in the fight.
I think I will spend the determination.
Okay, so in that case, you are still injured. You take the 6 points off your stress and give yourself the injured quality, but you are just like summoning all of your will to keep from going down. So you're bleeding badly. You are mortally wounded, and if you do not receive some kind of medical attention soon, you will expire.
Uh-oh.
So the initiative will now pass back to you. Either Dr. Ozil or Aja can act.
I think Aja should. She's the more punching character.
What do you want her to do?
Probably punch an Orion. Would others be fine with that?
Yay!
So there's an Orion on the ground. There's an Orion who's like standing by, and then there's the Orion who just stabbed the captain. Which one do you want her to go after?
Go after the one that stabbed the captain.
Okay. Someone give me. You can roll for her. She's got a target number of 14. And if you want to spend, if you want to pay me threat, you can do that to get more dice.
I got an 8 and 7, so 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay. We'll oppose it by Orion, who gets 1 success. So, her unarmed strike does. Miguel, roll 6 challenge dice for me. I think you're muted, Miguel.
I'm rolling right now, and I'm just writing it down. So, oh my goodness, I got 4 1s.
Okay.
So 4 damage.
All right. So Aja springs into action and goes after the Orion who is battling the captain. So now this Orion is like pinned between the two of them. The captain is bleeding. Aja's pounding on him, and he's taken some damage, but he still manages to stay in the fight. And that will bring us the Orion who got knocked down kind of staggers to his feet. And that brings us back to Dr. Ozil. What do you want to do?
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and join in and get that Orion to go back to his feet, go back on his back.
Okay.
Carrying security. I got a 13 to hit.
One success here.
God damn. I got 11, so one success.
Okay, so you can roll damage as you spring into action and clobber the Orion who just staggered to his feet.
Okay, I only got 3 dice, so. Okay, 1 second. Oh, wow. 4 damage, and I have the effect. I'm going to use the effect of knockdown. So
Okay.
he just goes back to being laying down.
Yeah. So he staggers to his feet, and you give him a right hook that sends him right back to the ground.
Stay down.
Very cool.
Okay, one of the Orions pulls out his dagger and goes after Commander Han, who also has a bladed weapon. Commander Han, give me a daring plus security.
Right.
I'm spending a threat to get an extra die.
1 success.
2 successes.
Yikes.
So he sticks you with his dagger for just 2 points of damage.
Okay.
So mark 2 points off your stress.
Oof.
Okay, everyone has acted in that round, so we're in a new round. Any of you can act.
Cool.
Hey today, Han.
Go on.
Yeah, Commander Han is going to attack. But he's going to attack against the one that poked him with that dagger
Yes.
with the sword that he's been carrying.
All right, give me a daring plus security roll.
Okay, 1 success. Do we have any momentum?
You do not, but you can pay me threat to get more. But 1 success, that ties with the Orion, which is enough for you to roll damage.
Yep. Okay.
So, okay, so for your bladed weapon, you're going to get 2 challenge dice plus your security discipline, and it has the vicious quality, which means any effect counts as 2 points of damage rather than 1.
Any effect counts as 2?
Yes. So 5s and 6s will count as 2.
Okay, so I roll 7 dice. Got 1, 2. I got 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 1, 1, and 1, 6. Wow, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points of damage on the guy.
Okay, so yeah, you impale this guy,
Nice.
and he sinks to the ground. So there are only two Orions left. And the initiative will pass to one of them unless you want to pay me 2 threat to keep the initiative on your side.
Nope.
Let's just see who he knocks out.
Okay. One of the Orions, let's see here. So the Orion who is battling the captain and Aja, the other one is going to fire his disruptor, pulls out a disruptor pistol and fires it at Dr. Ozil.
Uh-oh.
Control plus security, 11. And hits. Two, 4, 6, 7 points of damage on Dr. Ozil. So you have the decision of whether you want to take an injury or pay me 2 threat or spend your...
I think I'll spend a determination for this session to not be out of the fight because, ouch. So it's 7 damage?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So you have just been dealt a very serious disruptor wound, and you have the injured quality. But the initiative shifts back to you. So Captain Harriman or Dr. Ozil or Aja, any of those 3 could act now.
I think Aja's probably better at fighting than we are right now, so let's let her have her go first.
Okay. I'll have Aja continue to punch. Let's see.
She's got a target number of 14.
She got a 3 and a 4, so.
Okay, that beats the one success that the Orion rolled. So roll damage. It will be 6 challenge dice with the knockdown effect.
Okay. Okay. Guy got super knocked down. 3 damage.
Okay, that's enough. That guy had already been hit a couple times. So describe for me how she knocks the Orion unconscious.
I guess it's going to be along the lines of like I got 2 6s, so I got the knockdown effect twice. So she sweeps the leg.
Yes, you can hear there's like a snap as his knees crack and he falls down incapacitated.
Yeah, it's just a heavy thud as like the wood of the floor just bounces around.
So yeah, there's one Orion left, and he is the one who fired his disruptor at Dr. Ozil. So Dr. Ozil and Captain Harriman, you can still act this round, either of you.
Yeah. You want to go first, Captain? I just rolled.
Sure. I'll. Is there any sort of large objects nearby, like I don't know, a paperweight or a little statue or something like that?
Oh, totally, yeah. How about like a poker, like for the fireplace?
Oh yeah, that'll work. That'll work.
Also, people with disruptor pistols unconscious on the floor.
I'll grab the poker then.
Okay.
And swing it at the Orion.
Okay, so give me a daring plus security roll as you charge across the room at him. You got 1 success.
Okay. I don't suppose we've got any momentum, have we?
No, you do not.
Did not think so. Daring plus security, 2 successes.
Okay, so you smack him across the face with the poker, which we'll say that's a blade, which will do 2 challenge dice plus your security discipline, and it's got the vicious quality, which means any effects are 2 points of damage.
Okay. Okay, so we've got 2 6s. 4, 2, 3, 1.
So that's 7 points of damage total,
Yep.
which is enough to deal an injury to him. And he goes down unconscious as well. You can narrate that for me, Captain Harriman, if you want.
Oh, Harriman just he sort of reaches down, grabs this poker thing from nearby, and as this Orion closes in on him, Harriman just looks like he's sort of about to go down from this stab wound, and then as the Orion gets within range, he'll just turn round and swipe him straight across the face, and the Orion goes down like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, he totally does. And you hear, as you know, so the battle is kind of over. The 4 Orions have been dealt with, but Seema is still sitting behind that desk and really hasn't moved this entire fight. And you hear her laugh. It's kind of like a musical, amused laugh. And she said, "You should probably get those wounds looked at, gentlemen."
Yep. See, Commander, this is why I keep you around. Never goes down well when I try this sort of thing. Okay, Doctor, you're still moving around, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess so. But there's a sort of like she's really a lot more relaxed than she should be. Sort of vibe going off right now, Captain.
Okay, let's take a look, see if you can find a first aid kit around here.
Commander,
I think we're both in need of it.
Commander picks up that disruptor rifle that the guy was using against us and points it at Seema and says, "Don't try anything funny."
Yeah, the captain sort of puts his hand on Hando's shoulder and just says, "Look, I'd really like her alive, but if she so much as twitches, feel free to blow her away."
I gotten to. Actually, no. Emergency medicine does apply, does it?
It does, and it's going to be a daring plus medicine roll with difficulty of 1 to stabilize, to just like kind of
3 successes.
Yourself first.
Huh?
Do yourself first.
Okay, yeah, then I did that. I have
2 points of
healed
momentum.
medicine, all of this, so that lowers it actually by 1. Okay, got a natural 1. 3 successes again. So yeah, 4 momentum, guys.
Yeah, you now have 4 momentum in your pot, and Dr. Ozil is able to stabilize both himself and Captain Harriman, so you're no longer in danger of dying, although you do still have wounds to deal with. But Seema is like totally cool with this. She like, you have nothing to fear from me, gentlemen. This is actually quite entertaining.
Okay. Now, what was the part of the plan about getting out of here again?
Well, we do have the ensign in the ship, Captain.
Okay. We'll get on the communicator to, was it Ensign Talbot?
Yes.
Can he beam us out?
Your communicators do not seem to work in here. She says, "Oh, we have this facility rigged with dampening fields. You'll have to step out of the building to get a signal up into orbit. Oh, and watch this." And she kind of just kind of blinks her eyes, and the poker that you were holding, Captain Harriman, kind of vanishes right out of your hands.
Oh dear.
Do you see what was happening now, Captain Harriman?
Okay. End the program. Go on, you may as well.
Before I do, now I know who you are and what you're capable of. And remember this, Captain. If you come after the Syndicate, you're going to have to learn to think a little further ahead. Goodbye for now. And the hologram that you had thought was Seema shimmers out of existence, along with all of the nicely furnished room. And suddenly you're in just kind of like a blank, bare, prefabricated room with a couple of hollow emitters inside of it.
I'd heard of these hologram things. It's a good job we didn't have any fitted on the ship. I hate them.
Hollow what?
I'll tell you more later.
Okay. The guards don't disappear, right? They're still there?
No, the guards are very real, yes.
Okay. Okay. At least we have someone to interrogate, but yeah, it's going to be a bit of a while to actually dismantle the whole thing.
Doctor, you may want to take a look at this fella. I accidentally poked him with a sword.
With Seema gone, can we get the ship on the communicators now?
Yes. You can get Ensign Talbot.
Do I have to roll to make sure this guy doesn't die from Yong?
Oh, he's dead.
Oh no!
Killed him.
But the other ones were just knocked unconscious.
Okay, good. Well, George, congratulations! You killed another puppy. Just think of a rabbit, George.
He did lunge at me with a little dagger. Never bring a little dagger to a sword fight, I'd say.
Okay.
I'll get the ensign on board the ship to beam us on board if he can. We'll bring the remaining living Orions with us as well. We'll make sure that their injuries are seen to, but they get locked away in a
make
closet.
sure that any sort of hollow teeth with cyanide is removed before they wake up.
Okay, good call.
Yes. Well, we didn't come out of it with Seema, but we come out of it with at least a few prisoners. That's better than nothing.
And we made it out with a lot more money than we came in. Jingling all my pockets.
Yeah, I think you'll find that that belongs to Starfleet, Doctor.
Mm-hmm. Well, let Starfleet know is I can get this doubled or nothing.
I think we'd better leave before the Doctor starts heading back for the Darbo tables again.
How are you feeling, by the way, Captain and the Doctor? You took a pretty vicious hit back
I am
there.
going to take a long sleep and just treat this like a bad hangover.
Yeah, I'm going to get this treated when we get back to the ship as well.
Seema, are you all right? Did you get any injuries back
Aja.
there? Sorry. Aja.
Yeah.
Hando.
I just, yeah, she says, luckily I didn't, they didn't come after me, which seems a little bit surprising. But one thing for certain, she seemed to know you were coming, and she seemed to know who you were, and something tells me your ship is very much on the Syndicate's radar right now.
Well, we did kind of blow up a couple of their ships and scared off one ship that was chasing the freighter. More importantly, Starfleet gave you disorders, so odds are there's a leak within Starfleet itself.
That's true. Either we've got a problem on board the ship, or there's a problem in Starfleet,
Or both.
or both.
Most likely both.
Okay, well, let's focus on getting back to the Venture first and get our wounds.
First, Talbot.
Yeah, so Talbot is able to beam you guys back up to the stolen freighter, and that's basically the end of the scenario for now.
Well, it was a good first attempt.
Wow, that was scary at the end.
Yeah, it was a little bit.
I mean, it was getting a bit scary when you realize, like, oh, yeah, I can die now.
Yes.
But it's always more exciting that way, right?
Did you spot the flaw in the plan?
Yeah.
We didn't have one.
Well, I mean, the big thing is we didn't change our faces.
Yeah.
Mr. Hando grows a Fu Manchu. Robert with a evil Spock mustache. My skin.
All right. Well, with that, I'm going to end the broadcast. This was another voyage of the U.S.S. Venture in Star Trek Explorers. Thanks for joining us.